But a lot of people are foul. A lot of people, like on a day-to-day basis, yo, you don't know how many killers you actually come across. You don't know how many pedophiles and rapists you actually come across on a day-to-day basis. The only reason a lot of people are safe is because we have laws in society. If it was anarchy to purge, half of us wouldn't be making it, or we'd be a lot tougher.
Yeah.
You were
And I have
around
a
some really
question.
foul people. Yeah.
So there was a video where a woman stated, and I know sometimes you'll look at Sheila Truelove, but I don't know if it was one of those TikTok clips, but it was
I don't
something
know
I
who
came
that is.
across where a woman said, in order to know if a man has a tendency to abuse a woman, when you go out on a date, like if you're dating a guy and you don't know if you want to take it to the next level or not, you have to
Yeah.
test him. And at some point, within like the second or third date, make sure you're in a public place and do or say something that's going to trigger him and see how he's going to respond. And if he responds, with aggression, then you know to leave him alone. Do you think that's valid, or do you think that's even a good way to go about finding out if a man is abusive or not?
One, I don't know who Sheila True Love is. Um, and that sounds weird to me. I can understand how somebody would think it's rational, but you want to test somebody, so flip it. That means I'm gonna do something intentionally. That means it has to be extreme enough to trigger you, right? That's cruel, right? I think that if you spend enough time, remember, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, if you spend enough time engaging with somebody in safe environments and interact with them, their true selves are gonna be revealed sooner or later anyway.
Yeah.
But see, well, we're not investing that much time in people. We're not investing 1,000 hours of direct communication with a person to sit back and see who they are. We on some. Oh, we went to 3 dates. That's 3 weekends. We probably spoke a few times in between there. Now you pipe me down. Now we got this emotional connection. Now you at my house. We at my house. We arguing. Next thing you know, something happens. But you could have seen that if you were just taking your time a lot of times.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I personally don't think test somebody like I don't like that. I don't like that idea. I don't know if
Yeah.
any
I like the
professionals
idea.
advise that. It's like,
Because you would just imagine, what would you have to say to that man in public at that table to get him to that level of anger to where he might react crazy? Like,
yeah.
what would that even look like?
So here's the question: what is something that you're incredibly sensitive of that I could say that will piss you off and make you hang up on me right now?
I would never tell you
All right.
ever.
So, but I don't want you to tell me. Like, don't tell me. Like, what? Imagine if I said that to you right now just to test you. How would you feel? And I'm like, oh, I was just
Bad.
testing you out.
It would make
Exactly.
me
So
feel
why would?
bad because I have a connection and a bond, and I would never think that you would intentionally
Well, yeah.
say something to
I
hurt me.
so I take me out of the equation and like somebody else to say that to you, somebody that you're interested in, and they try to do that to you. How would you feel? Let's say you don't have that bond. You getting to know this person. They did that because they just wanted to test you. You wouldn't feel good with them either.
No, I would be shocked and I would be like, whoa. I mean, and it would be a flag. That would be a red flag to me. Like, damn, he tested me.
Exactly. So in
Yeah,
that same regard, would it be the same thing for a man if a woman did it to him?
absolutely. Yeah, I
You know
agree.
what I'm saying? So I like I've said this before, and I stand on this. I think women give horrible relationship advice to other women. You know what I'm saying? It's not all the time. It's not 100% of the time. But when you take advice from somebody who's thrice married, um, got multiple babies, fathers, mad divorces, they single, they being out promiscuous, they got all these broken relationships, which a lot of women take advice from their dumbass friends. Like how you take advice from your dumbass friends? She hasn't succeeded in a relationship yet. She hasn't learned from her own lessons. Like even if she failed, has she learned from her mistakes? It makes sense to either learn from somebody who learned from their mistakes, say, hey, these are the mistakes that I made, or you learn from somebody who's successful. And when you look at your great grandparents or whoever, like, yo, it ain't been hard, it ain't been easy. Life ain't been no crystal stairs, but yo, we made it work because we put God first or whatever. However, we made it work. We always put the family first. Why not listen in? Why listen to your person, your dumbass friend who's really secretly bitter, partially jealous of you, whether it's because of your success or because you got a man? You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
Do you
I
think
look
it's
at
safe
it.
to say that if women look to other women that have accomplished what it is they want to have, then they would be a better choice to get advice from? Or are you
I think
saying most women, regardless of their
no, no, no,
marital status or whatever, give bad advice to other women?
no. I think if you're gonna take advice from somebody, they need to be qualified to give you the advice.
I agree.
And qualifications have to come from somewhere. But what I've seen is a lot of women who are not qualified. They real petty and small minded are giving bad advice to other women. It's real superficial. I think that a lot of women are unqualified to give their friends advice, and they be setting y'all up for failure a lot of times.
Yeah. I think I think a lot of women too probably don't give their friends advice that they need to hear because they're not qualified. And I know just for myself, sometimes, I may refrain from saying something that probably should be said because, first of all, women, men too, but women go through a lot with, self-esteem and weight gain, and after you have kids and insecure about this and that. At the same time, if somebody is already like torn or feeling a certain kind of way, you don't really want to add to that.
It's, remember we was talking about a friend, and that friend was going through a challenge. I was like, "Yo, what you're saying is right, but you're gonna have to deliver that in an incredibly tactful way." There you go. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
you're
saying?
right about
So sometimes
how
you
you
can't be
say
raw.
something.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now that's exhausting though. You know what I'm saying? That drains energy to do that. At least in my mind, like when I gotta be all tactful, I'm like, damn, yo, this is. I should just be like, yo, Mo, you messing up. This is what you doing wrong. But now I gotta tiptoe down. Like Mo, it's like a feedback. Like Mo, you've been doing great in these areas. I'm really proud of what you did. However, if you could pay attention to this, and then I gotta end it. Like, yo, that's too much. But sometimes that's what you
Why
gotta
is that
do.
too much?
Yo, listen, man. I just tell my counselor like this, right? Because my counselor, our counselor, he's like, yo, it's the way you deliver the message. I'm like, listen, I understand that, right? But here's the thing: if what I'm saying is true and accurate, it don't matter. And sometimes you gotta look at the intent.
They're not going
And
to receive it, but go ahead.
the house is on fire. Mo, wake up. The house is on fire. You gotta get up. You gotta get out here. Or I can be like, bitch, the house on fire. Get the fuck out the house. Understand the intent when I'm saying this. It's passion. It's not coming from a place of harm. It's a place of protecting you. And I'm passionate about it. You see what I'm saying? So even though communication two-way street, you also gotta know the intent of that individual that's communicating to you. You gotta know that I'm not being cruel when I'm like, yo, the house is on fire. Get your silly ass up. Yo, we gotta go. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what else it is, if it's something that's harmful, I should be able, and I'm passionate about it. There may come a time where I'm not gonna be tactful. I might be like, yo, you effing up. This needs to be done like this. And you shouldn't be all in your feelings because on some fair stuff, if we really being reasonable, you should know that I got your best interest at heart. I got our best interest at heart. And if you don't trust me, then we shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's that whole submit. Submit to God, then submit to your significant other, because these people are gonna be doing things, not be subservient, but there's a hierarchy,
Yeah.
a submission hierarchy. At least that's the way I
You got to
understand
be able
things
to
now.
trust. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's been proven though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You trust a person because they've proven that they're gonna act in your best interest
Yeah.
and that they're capable of making solid decisions.
Mm.